Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back officially. And today, we are going to do things. I mean, as we know last time, we have our wonderful claim going to, we did good things. We have this guy in office now, and because we have this guy in office and we kicked out those smelly Nazis, I believe we deserve Slovenia. At least I do. And I believe you do too. I mean, it's not that easy to organize. It's not that difficult. It's not that easy to organize a coup like we did. A bloodless one to be in effect as well. So, I just think we need to. Yeah. We need a lot more attention to do anything. And if these guys are really just twiddling their thumbs, or more effort. What are these guys doing? These guys are not going out of their way to, fight each other. Foreign expeditions. Hang out with Romania. Mech effort. All these things. They're not doing anything to provoke wars. So my main goal, if we can't provoke war, if they're not willing to start wars, then I guess we have to. So at least this way we could do Ljubljana, fatal Yugoslavia, because obviously I don't like Yugoslavia. I mean, it's actually one of those regions of Europe where I actually want to learn a little bit more about. So it's like one of those things where it's. All I really remember about the Balkans is that when I was in Bulgaria, everyone just hated gypsies. Pretty much, they didn't care who you were as long as you weren't a gypsy. Operation Z. What's Operation Z? I don't know what a Zek is. Yeah, won't let us know what Operation Z is. I know what a Zek is. That's like a slang for a prisoner. But I obviously don't know what a Zek is. Produce another artillery division. Division. What are we lacking? Support equipment, and we need trucks. Obviously, we need trucks. What else can we do? Anti-fascist raids. Bye fascism. Dentrum. Ultimately, at this point, I think it might actually be a good idea to sort of save up a little. And instead of just trying to start new countries or whatever, it just might make, new governments, it might make sense to get some sort of advisor. Or a one-armed advisor could go into, we'll give them some sort of professorship somewhere, and we can replace them with maybe Spear or someone worthwhile. Or we could do one of these things down here. Who's this guy? Shorner. He's good. But, you know, overall, it's just really just a waste of time at this point. Waiting to get that little claim on Yugoslavia. Might make sense at least to Das Stunde Hakeschlagen Britannia macht vergeht Deutsche Boot meine Kuhnheit Großdeutschland starker Lied U-Boote leider fallen voll weit in Meer hinaus. And if we're gonna go to war against these people, it's a nice little mixture of. We got a good Bjerg's unit, but we have a couple Panzer troops. So we're gonna get Rommel over here. Have him do his thing. But, yeah, it's coming to this point where we just need even more rubber. So we're going to be putting you up here. And yes, we're going to be seeing our good friends. You know, the Dutch East Indies again. Give them another one. You know, they seem to like us enough to be dealing with warcraft this entire time. So, you know, at least. And we could put in Kurt Stewart up here. He has 1, 2. Got some of those artillery units. So at least that way, if push comes to shove, the only other good thing I think about this too is that we could actually get a port on the Adriatic. So if the shit ever hits the fan, you know, it makes sense to have some sort of presence on the Mediterranean. So at least this way, go see our friends in France. Do they like us? Oh yes, they love us. Do my friends in Britain love me? Oh yeah, 60. These people are in love with me. And I'm in love with them. People don't really seem to notice that they actually played this song on The Simpsons. It was one of the earlier episodes when they were going camping. And it was actually kind of funny just because, you know, it took me like years to figure out what the hell the song was. Let's see if we have any planes. Yeah, we could get up to 200 planes soon. Got 33 strategics. So at least that way we have a bunch of this way too. We could begin producing even more of these precious trucks, which we need apparently. And building our forces. Ultimately, you know, my main fear is just We have to go to war against these dastardly. Who's he watch? That's these dastardly allies to our left. You know, Frank Reich, Großbritannien, and wir need to figure out a way to kill him. But, you know, otherwise, it's... As long as we keep tension down at least a little bit, we should be beating them to the punch, at least when it comes to, like... At least, you know, when it comes to, say, like, building a huge-ass army. So I don't know how big... I mean, I don't know what our intel is on these guys. I mean, I knew their interwar army was actually pretty damn big. Yeah. It's actually not as big as I thought. I mean, we should be able to push these guys over if they only have 130. Right now, what do we do? Outnumber them. What? 6-1? How's your Navy doing? 29 subs. We actually have... What do you think? We actually... I mean, it's... Not that great, but it's not that bad. I mean, I'm happy to have... 17 destroyers. I think that's more than the Kriegsmarine actually had. Obviously, our army's just... So a lot of it now, it's kind of like a strategic decision right now. But overall, it does make sense to pick on smaller nations, bully them around. I don't like these Hungarians for anything. Because ultimately, if France and Britain like me, I think it might be a good idea that, you know, we just take over the world. Because right now, they don't really seem to mind that we own Austria and all of Poland. And regardless, both Britain and France are going to be dragged into a war with the Soviet Union if the Soviet Union ever takes over that. You know, if they ever decide to sort of, like, say, do dumb things and... Czechoslovakia, that's actually... So much stuff, not enough time. There we go. There'll be some sort of like updates. So at least this where we're building updated tanks, we're building updated guns, and we're building updated artillery. And then we get to spend like trillions of years trying to give everyone that. There we go. What do they want? They want support equipment. See, this is like one of those reasons why it will be good to be like more observant, because that's good enough there. Alright, fellas. You want martial law? You got martial law. Sorry about that. You need to be crushed a little bit. Yeah, no. You'll get that crap sooner enough. That's something I actually want to think about. Guess what happened? We got the Hepper still growing. Munchen. Johann and Dreisig. What do you want to do? There we go. Give you a second one. I don't really see any point at this point in producing convoys. The Hepper is just about done. We have a light cruiser building. And we got a Z-boot. No, destroyer or just keep building. This makes sense to keep building U-boots. 16, 17, 18. They can build a second one. I think I made a promise earlier that September 1939 donors would have more than 36 U-boats to play with. And unfortunately, when it comes to that, I think we're actually going to be cutting it a little close. Just one of those things that suck. Maybe we'll have them have like a cutesy naval parade or something. Even though 44,000 people in the Navy. I mean, I haven't really read like a decent biography on Donuts, but I don't know. I did see there was like this one YouTube clip. It was just pretty much just like a bunch of interviews with him, comparing him with like he had like a couple of interviews, and Albert Speer had a couple of interviews. And, it's just like if you read it or listen to it, you kind of think like he just comes off as kind of like unrepentant. Say compared to like Speer, who seems to at least, despite using slave camp labor, it seems like at least he's like apologetic for it. I mean, I don't really care what you do in your life as long as, like, as I said before, I don't really know what the hell it was really like to be a higher up. But for the most part, I would like to avoid it if all possible, just simply just because I don't really think I'm in a situation to judge Nazis. I'm reading an interview about Stengel right now, and it's just the only thing I don't really like about it is just how normal he is. Like if you just read it, he just comes off as like some regular cop who just by coincidence ended up getting a job in a frickin' extermination camp. And if ultimately he could end up doing that, stuff, I just ultimately think anyone can. Which is, I find kind of frightening, but we're producing a CAG unit. They could train in Poland. Maybe help out with these bloody partisans. They're totally going down. Yeah, they're going down a whole heck of a lot. Let's crush that down to like nothing. I mean, I feel kind of bad because we're supposed to be like this, like, we're supposed to be like a democracy, but for the time being, I'm just content keeping Poland in our like sphere of influence, and I think everyone else is too for some reason. Unless we could like use them as a puppet or something. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a couple like puppet states around that. They could send like embassies to ourselves. They could just like walk around all day and tell us how good we are and stuff. But if in that situation, it just makes sense to actually. Why are these things flagged? Oh, okay, whatever. I don't care about that. I was just afraid they were like attritioning or something. Because they're in the Alps or something, like eventually it's kind of like you find some stat that's like, oh yeah, by the way, you lost like 300,000 men because they were all freezing to death in the Alps. In that case, that would be kind of embarrassing. And at least this way too. I wonder how many friggin' anti-tanks we have. Anti-tank. 440 of them. Because I want to ultimately give one of these, other than regular infantry divisions, have 58. These ones have 16. Nice little Panzer vroom vroom. Give this curb. Oh yeah. Wanna hang out with Monstein? You know you want to hang out with Monstein. Zog. No. Come on. I want to, like, justify a war goal on you. The last thing I want is... Why did he take over Albania? I mean, Zog's an alright guy. Supposedly he smoked about 150 cigarettes every day. Or some ridiculous amount. In this situation, it just makes sense to build more submarines at this point, I think. We got... what? We're completely no longer producing any capital ships, which I like. 4 battleships and 4 heavy cruisers. I was always told that it's like a ratio of 3-1 or 4-1. Which we're nowhere close to. I'm gonna produce some more light cruisers, I think. You can build a second one when you're done with it. And this is our Stoller. Good. Good. Have fun building Z6. We all know how much good Z6 is. In reality, pretty much the Germans has lost all their destroyers from Weserübung. And I'm not really expecting my pretty sad Navy from really doing much better. I'm just going to pause this for a second.